Good morning, friends. Welcome to my ad hoc ranting show, internet show. Today is March 19th, 22. Martian, Martin the Martian. So just so you know, Martin the Martian, you know that earth-shattering kaboom and things of the sort? Whoever made that series is mocking Roman. So if you notice, Bugs Bunny, with the two long horns that lives underground, and then there's like Martin and his ship called Maggot, Martian Maggot, and so on. And Daffy Duck is something similar to Ishtar and so on. Forget that. But so and Arab and his camel, you know how he bashes him on the head and he falls. That's very funny. That's extremely funny. Moses, like, oh man, he has his hands, like he has irons in the fire everywhere, and you can't even figure him out. But we can figure him out. So today's rant is about what's his name? Chihuahua Putin. Chihuahua Putin is now naked and glued, right? He's shown his true nature. Why? Because he was exposed to reality. And he was like posturing around and so on and talking like he's the historic figure of Alexander the Great and so on. Oh man, this guy's a rat. He wrote about it, remember? I heard this on some channel that in his writings he talks about rats, and one rat basically jumped back at him. Oh, he's the rat, He's the rat jumping at people. So nonetheless, today's rant is about him having a parade or going to a parade or making a parade celebrating the seizure of Crimea. So what do you guys read in that? What I read in it is very simple, really. First of all, he's trying to tell his Russians or Russians, Russia, right? Or redheads. The Arabs dubbed them as redheads near the Volga, right? They used to go and write their news and so on and so forth. But lo and behold, those Russia are different from what that engineer Ahmed ibn Fadlan wrote about the Vikings. Oh, the Vikings are fine people, believe me, and so are the Germanics. Not those vermin insects that live in Moscow and they pretend to be whites, right? They're not, right? They're a race that is a byproduct of evil and cowardice, and that's what it is. Not all of them, no. I'm just talking about that posse of that lizard eye crew of Putin. So nonetheless, what is he trying to say there? First, he's trying to tell the Russians that he got something going. He got Crimea. Two, what he's trying to say is negotiate, meaning he may accept leaving Ukraine, but not Crimea. Three, he's gloating about something that you guys don't know about. I'll tell you what it is. Putin, or Pustalinin for that matter. When I say Pustalinin, you guys think it's just a pun on the names and stuff like that, or trying to bring up that he's got heritage from Lenin or Stalin. No. He is related to them. And they're all Lenin, Stalin, and now Putin. And what's between? They're all Jews, but he is related to them. Stalin, you guys being told that Stalin is a Christian Orthodox. Oh, you've been had, like they say. You've been had, folks. Oh, you've been had. So he is related to them. If you look closely, he looks like Lenin, as a matter of fact. He has resemblance, physical resemblance to Lenin. Lenin. Lenin? We call him Lenin. Oh, well, whatever. You know the guy, right? The monster. Let's put it this way. so that's what it is. People, it's as such that it's as such as that he's related to them. So now, him having this dogma or that creed, they've shown, they've been, what he's showing is Crimea is a Muslim part of Ukraine. Many Muslims there, and they're the Tatars. They're not Arabs, right? But that's what he's gloating about. That he's got that Muslim part, and he will not let go of it. And sure enough, there is in the West, here in America, and people trying to set up something for him to claim, and that he can give up everything except Crimea. And they, in turn, are his brothers in creed. First of all, they were waiting on him to win and go through that historic invasion and takeover of Europe, right? That was the plan. Trump is his brother too. You may not believe it, but it is true, right? So that faltered. So now they're trying to, get him out. Ukraine gets back Donbass, Lugansk, and everywhere else except Crimea, right? Why? But why are they doing that in the West here? Though his brothers are in Crete, because Crimea is a Muslim country, and they always gloat about Islam. They hate Islam so much, folks. They killed hundreds of millions of Muslims, starting with the Mongol invasion, and then communism, and then Shiism, and then modern wars in Syria and Iraq and Afghanistan and Africa and Yemen and here and there. And they got a lot of help in that world, right? They're like, they're the undercurrent, if you will, and there's plenty of Moses the Crow. Turns out that Moses the Crow is a shapeshifter. Now, shapeshifter, you may think of devils and so on. Yeah, true, but some people are able to shift shape where you see them and believe in them as your human brothers, and they go to church with you or even mosque or anywhere else, but they're really shape-shifting. They're really Moses the Crow. All right, so that's point. That's ranting point. First ranting point for the day is to tell you that, and there's something else about it. When he's doing that in Crimea, as to claim Crimea, he is really acknowledging his defeat. Let's put it this way. And now he's, first of all, there was a turmoil in his cabinet and in the upper levels or the echelons of Moses the Crows, like the club of that cabal of Moses the Crows, right? And still there, but they're probably now thinking, they want to get exit, but they want to keep that Muslim part of Crimea, which is of Ukraine, which is Crimea, so they can maim and kill and so on and so forth. It's their nature, it's their nature. Their hatred basically is as simple as a part of their genetic makeup now. They cannot overcome that. They cannot jump over it or leap over it, or they're always stuck and entrenched and engraved in that mentality of murder and killing. I was reading yesterday, there was somebody of that creed who wrote, who's theorizing, right? Theses, he's writing a thesis about, the origin of totalitarianism. Oh, really? Now we know where that origin is. I can tell you that. The origin of it, and it's not just being affected by the ideas, but directly taken from it. The origin is the Talmud and the Midrash and so on, and all these books, the ugly books. They originated communism, they originated Stalinism, they originated Nazism, they originated assassins who claim to be Muslims, like Ayatollahs and so on and so forth. They originated 1984. They originated Animal Farm. They originated that Chinese regime that has what's called internment camps for Chinese Muslims, right? And here and there, in Africa, and Castro is one of them. You may disagree with that. Oh, no. Castro is a creed brother of Stalin, of Lenin, of Pustalinin, of General Sisi of Egypt, of Nasser. Well, we don't know about Nasser. Nasser is probably just a freakish, a dumb person, who thought he was doing something good later in his life. Probably, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm speculating. He probably discovered that he's been had, but then the effect of his misunderstanding killed so many people, right? And put the whole nation back I don't know, 1,000 years. Coffee? Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, case in point are very simple, folks. Post-Stalinine is as shabby, as weakling, as fake as it gets, as coward as it gets, period. That's what he is. And I said before, take this guy out of his security cage, right? That steel cage that he lives in. Oh, he will vanish in thin air. He will disappear. He will not even be able to walk in the street without fearing to be in the vicinity of others that are walking about bystanders. That's how weakling the guy is. And those guys usually thrive in their life on various items. I'll tell you which ones are they. Give me a second. So the things they thrive on first is they become, they work in the intelligence agencies. Why? Because they become hidden. Not everyone who works for intelligence agencies is a bad person. No, I'm not saying that, but some of them do, because that's all they can do. Really, is it's in their nature, spying on others and hating others and being able to kill and maim and destroy and so on and so forth. Two, they establish private clubs, meaningly they. And I'm not talking about any club, like, yeah, it's okay, it's necessary for mankind to have clubs, right? Or tribes or whatever it is, because we are social, being. We're not, we're not solitary animals. Oh, some of us are. Solitary cats, right? So that's what it is, folks. Two, he's weakling, he becomes strong by support of others, right? Other than that, on his own, he's really nothing. I mean, in terms, they tell you about this, them being brothers, half brothers of the Arabs. The Arabs are half, and they are the other half from Abraham. So that story in the modern day, that story is no longer valid. The modern Jews are not from Sarah or Abraham. Those old Jews are gone, long gone. Mainly around the destruction of the temple by the Romans, and afterwards, little by little, gradually, they basically vanished and into thin air. Some of them stayed. The main ones who stayed and kept that hatred burning and alive is really the Jews in the Arab Peninsula. And those were, some of them were original Arabs who were not really from either Abraham or Sarah. Or the others are some immigrants really from Judea. They migrated into Arabia, but very few really. So that there are traces of them. However, on the appearance of Islam, first there was antagonism, but then many of them around the area, wherever they existed, they assimilated in Islam because they wanted to leave this idea of this Talmudic things of hatred and they saw that Islam was very tolerant. Islam has a sophisticated economic system and allowed everybody to thrive and so on. And so many of them really assimilated. And you will not find them really because the notion of someone belonging to certain race or whatever it is, it has disappeared over 1400 years. Anyways, and I tell you what, if in the Middle East, I come from the Middle East, I got some heritage like from Asia and here and there, white and Arab. And if I come to discover, if somebody comes now and shows me proof that I come from that line of Sarah, I will reject it right there and then. Why? Because I know enough about it, not being part of it, to make me shun it completely. That's how sickly that thing is. It's not my nature, folks. So anyway, and it's not really in the nature of anyone to become racist, to become hater, to bear hatred against others just because they don't submit to him and her, or it's just weird, man. What I know about it now is weird. But back to our original point, really, Post-Stalinine grew up this way, and that's what he is. Basically, he's that tribe that 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 found his way in power not because of his own devices or on his own accord or his own ability or his own nature. No, 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 no. He was pushed there because he's part of that club, which is the Club of Zion, right? And he's supposedly he thinks he belongs to Sarah and Abraham. No, he doesn't, right? And now he tries to disseminate like courage and bravery and like what do you call? And they try to work with him, his brothers like Schultz, like Macron. They try to work with him and make him appear as this tough person, right? You know, to be feared. You know, he leaves them on the stage and he sits away from them and so on. They're trying to make him look like this god, the new god of Europe, right? Because that's the plan. He was to take over Europe, right? But I guess what? Good luck. You'll need more than luck, believe me. All right. So point number two. They're trying to gloat about them, of course, you know, losing this European American front because they lost Trump, right? Trump was supposed to convert America into a communist state. Or you may not believe it, but believe me, that's what it was. And he lost him, and then they were going to complete that in the second half, which is take over Europe and convert it into like a animal farm. Once and for all. And then come back to the United States, of course, and retry again. So now they're gloating, even though they lost on that front, like there's no hope, basically, that, oh, we're still in the Muslim world and we're going to do so and so. I don't know about that. What I know, you don't know. Your demise is going to happen in that world that you're killing and maiming and hating. Coming up, folks, coming up. And don't listen or read those books about origin of totalitarianism. Those very authors of it know where it comes from and know what mentality is generating totalitarianism. I found it only in one place. I looked east and west, and no matter what, it comes from those, from that creed and from those books, like such as the Talmud, right? And those ideas and how they grow up and so on. That's where totalitarianism comes from, because it's a religion making others worship you as gods, and then you deal with them like you deal with animal farm, such as a rancher slaughters his cows and so on and so forth, even though he feeds them, even though, believe me, their main religion and their main purpose is to arrive at that point with other humans, basic and simple. That's what it is, folks. So these folks who are trying to deceive you about origin of totalitarianism, no, it's from them. You may say, well, look, Pol Pot or whatever his name is, like in Cambodia, right? Remember? Killing 1 million people, and he used, I think, to stack skulls and so on and so forth. Oh, that's Chinese. Oh, no. They're there. Wherever Islam spread, they spread with it, and one step ahead, and they're there. That Chinese regime is, those from Shanghai and Beijing are nothing but Israelis. And I'm not talking about conversion. They are blood and soul and so on and so forth. Not that they're Abraham and Sarah, no. But, you know, what I call recurrent manifestation of certain group of people. Some evil entity brings them up here and there, and nowadays, whenever they lose, they resurrect them again, and you know, those notions and feelings and ideas in different group of people, and puts the notion in their mind that is their continuation of something old. Oh, no. Believe me, that's they're not continuation of something old. It's something evil that is regenerating them time and again and keeping the flame alive, like they say. And I know it is not Allah, that the one we know of Islam, because he's merciful and he's good and he treats everybody like human being and they're equals, and the Quran and the Islam history is full of these equalities and liberties and sophistication and so on and so forth. Okay, well, that's the animal farm that was done. So there's your answer for that. Point number 3, or third point. Yesterday I saw this guy Bush and Clinton, right? They went and like laid some flowers in some Ukrainian church and something like that. I don't know about Clinton. You know, he's guilty of some stuff. Like, for example, he stood watching in Rwanda and Burundi when the mass murder was taking place. What, 1 million people got killed? He could have easily stopped it. He didn't need much force. Two, he attacked a pharmaceutical facility in Sudan, killing some people in there, right? And you know, they declared that it was some chemical facility or something like that. I don't know about that now. I don't get me wrong. The government of Sudan, that despot Omar al-Bashir or whoever his regime is, probably still in charge now. I don't know. Are as effed up as it gets. They're Putin's Pustalinin. So we know them, falashas. They call them falashas, right? But those people, poor people in the factory, you know, like you went and bombed the factory and killed a few people in there. You may say, well, there are only few. What's few? How different is few innocent people killed by your order than a million people killed by the order of that Bush, your brother that was with you yesterday? It's just mind-boggling, you know. And here's what gets me about the Bush. The Bush and his father murdered millions in the Middle East. Why? Oh, because they're Zionists. They're Zionists not by they think, they believe, and similar to those people in those orcs or creatures in the 13th warrior, you know, they're talking about Mongols and Russians, right? Coming, you know, like sweeping through westward and their massacres and so on and so forth. And it was mentioned, you know, in Baghdad that around the Middle East that the Mongols are coming again. And that's what Bush is, really. He's really Eastern and he's Jewish. And that's what he was doing in Iraq, really. Nothing more, nothing less. And what he did led to the murder of millions. And even now, as we speak, ever since he went into Iraq until now, they are actually those Shiites of his, those remnant of the Mongols in Iran. They're still murdering and maiming, and they call themselves Jews. They believe they're Jews. You know, like how do you become Jews? I don't know. Poor Abraham. Had he knew that he will, some people like those. Uh, this like what's his name, Netanyahu, Yahoo's and Pustalinin and Bush and whoever it is, they're gonna do what they're gonna do in the modern age, or Herzl, he would probably have not migrated, not married that woman, and probably went like to India or China or something of the sort. You know, he would probably say, I don't want to do that. You know, like, oh Lord, I don't want to do that. He's horrified by what's going on. No, that's the case. Yeah, he's definitely horrified. So that's what Bush is. Are you shameless or what? You know, like you go kill millions in Iraq and now you go to a Ukrainian church like with flowers and so on. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Dog of hell. What are you talking about there? You know, like when I saw you doing that, I had no respect for you before, but now I mean I look at you and I see someone who's really, you know, like out of it completely, you know, like shameless. You killed so many people in the Middle East, you and your Trump and whoever it is, and so on, uh, uh, and and now you go like to Ukrainian church, like, I forget, yeah, they are Muslims, yeah, okay, all right. Uh, the future is for the Muslims. I mean Sunnis. We all know that. I think you deep down inside know that fact. And that's it. Uh, Believe me, once you look at those people and their greed past and so on, you know, they're not scary motherfuckers. But that golfer, what's his name? Nichols or Nicholson? Nicholas, I don't know. When he called those Arabs like scary motherfuckers. Believe me, Nicholas or whatever your name is, that golfer. If you go live among them, oh, you'll love them. They're only scary in one situation, is when you try to encroach on their personal space or try to degrade them or attack them or something like that. Now, they will not answer you, but when you become real threat to their lives and their family, oh, they become very scary. It's that faith that they harbor in their heart. When it comes to knowledge and science and so on, if they put their minds to it, or they're overbearing, believe me. So no, you golfer. Let me see, what's his name? I forgot his name. Jack Nichols, right? Yeah, I think that's the one who said they're scary motherfuckers. Trust me, Jack Nicholas, trust me on this. They are very friendly people. I assure you, Jack. And I hope maybe you try it one day. Go to those slums in Arabia and Egypt and Morocco and Afghanistan and so on. The slums, go to like buy yourself a little bit of slum. $20,000 will buy you one big apartment and live there for a little while. Believe me, maybe. I would guess that you will not want to move out. That's how feeling of safety and security you will feel among them, because they don't go about like hurting people or harming people. No. They're very good people. They're modest. They don't disseminate false information or project false attitude or anything of the sort. No. Now, if I was you, I would be concerned about that MBS. Now, why is that? Because he's a deep friend of Putin, Pustalinin. And you know what makes him a deep friend of Pustalinin, like very close friend of Pustalinin? It's that brotherhood. It's that creed. You may say, oh, this guy wears like Arabs. Oh, I just told you, man. They wear like Arabs. They wear like They dress like English. They dress like Chinese. Oh man, they shift. They shape shift and race shift. It's called, there's shape shifting and there's race shifting and there's disguise, right? They borrow under the skin, they borrow under. Now that's the subject of one book. All right, my friends, have a nice day. Meantime, I'm back to the coffee, and don't worry about Pustalinin. I will not do what he does, no matter what. Even if I'm able to do it in person, I will not do what he's doing. No. I will not do what he did, no matter what. Even if you gave me ownership of the galaxy, even if you can, I will not do one thing of what he did in Chechnya and Syria and now in Ukraine, or his greed in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I will not do that, folks. I will not, or China or Siberia or Castro's, or I will not do that, folks. If you knew what I knew, you will not do that. Have a nice day, my friends, and we'll talk to you later. Ad-hoc ranting. Bye now.